Hey wholesome family, it's your wholesome guru back at you with another wholesome video, and today I'm bringing you a powerhouse green food that not many people pay attention to, but I just wanted to share it because it's a part of my daily diet. Okay, maybe I skip a few days here and there not doing it, but for the most part it's 95% a part of what I eat on a daily basis. Okay, whether I'm doing this in the green form or as a ripened food. All right. And so these are actually green bananas, as you can tell, all right? And to aid with some of the commercialization of the plants, what I decided to do was I buy them mostly green, and I just put them down and I wait for them to ripen, okay? And you can see when you're actually waiting for the fruit to ripen, they don't normally look like the way the commercialized ones look when you buy them in the supermarket. It's a slow ripened process, and you will see that, like for instance here, this is ripe, this is ready to go. Same here, all right? And if the bananas are to get to the prickly stage, like the way I have this one right now, and as you can see, this is still not bright yellow, okay? Some of the chemicals that are used to make the bananas ripe are what make them as beautiful and yellow, right, as they are. Not to say that there's not bananas that stay on the tree, or a banana that's really full term that, you know, gets like bright yellow in a short space of time, but most of the times the ones in the supermarket, they have some type of alteration that gets them to that stage, okay? Another thing too about these bananas is, for instance, this one, it was a slow ripe banana, right, just like here, and I've had this now maybe about 3.5 weeks. It does not smell. You cannot take it up and even know that it's a banana. It's when I open it that obviously it's going to have that aroma that it comes with, right? So because of that, before, when I would have issues with allergies and all of that stuff, right, just the smell of the bananas alone would have me just sneezing. It doesn't happen, okay? So this is a much healthier alternative if you're considering, you know, a health journey and you want to introduce less chemicals in your body, then you want to think about doing this, all right? And green bananas are indigenous family to the Caribbean, to African people, to Indians, to the Incas, okay? So this is something that used to be a thing of the past. And I guess for myself, it kind of just got handed down. I grew up on a farm where we primarily grew bananas. We grew green bananas, then we supplied them to different hospitals. Back in the days, it was hospitals, restaurants, that type of thing. They actually catered to giving the patients like cooked food. It wasn't like now where you could easily just pop something in the microwave. And so that was the business that we specialized in at the time. We also made like green banana chips. That was another thing. And so being on the farm as a child, I had to peel a lot of these in order to make myself handy and to earn my own allowance, okay? So these ones that are ripened, I won't cook them, which is what I plan to do for today, all right? I'm going to leave these, and this will be a part of, maybe I'll eat it just like that, or it will be a part of my tahini smoothie, all right? And if you haven't seen my tahini smoothie, please go back and look. It's here on the channel. It will give you an idea as to how you can actually make this, all right? So all of these are ripe, and I'm going to leave them there, okay? And in this process, guys, you bet, oops, see, that's another thing, okay? So this one is really ripe, but it doesn't look that way. So you have to be feeling them and see. Like, I cannot cook this. This is going to just become very mushy. It's going to cause my pot to become a stew if I do this, okay? So these cannot go, even though they're ripened and ready to eat. Those are just going to be my average bananas, okay? And here goes another one. So there you have it, guys. I have myself, just from this one thing, these are the only ones that I'm going to be able to cook, all right? And green bananas, they are used in many different ways, all right? I'm just going to start cutting them so I could get the video going while I talk to you about them. I normally wash before I place them in the pot, and that is just because, you know, the elements are involved. Back in the Caribbean, if I was really cooking it, I would just take it from the tree, if it's my own tree, and you bet I am just going to peel them, and they're right in the pot. I'm not worried about the chemicals and all of that stuff that they would have gotten exposed to, because already I would know what is on them, okay? This is how I actually peel them. There are multiple ways that it can be done. If you get the bananas, by the way, and this is something that you actually got from, let's say, the store, okay, depending on your location, there may be some form of fertilization that the banana went through, and when there is, the stain content is going to be different. When you peel it, your fingers may not get dark, okay? To get around the stainy process of the green bananas, if you're wanting to peel them, you add a little bit of oil on your fingers, okay, or on your knife, or both is preferred, and that will take care of things for you, and you don't have that to worry about when you are cleaning. And even with this one, guys, this is still partially ripe, so I didn't feel it before, so when I cook it, it's going to be on the sweeter side. All right. Other thing is that when you're cooking these, if you wind up using this as a food base, we use this a lot in the West Indies as a food base, because we pair this with some other form of staple. We may pair this with potatoes, pair it with yams, we pair it with whatever indigenous foods are there, cocos, the sheens, doesn't really matter. We're always pairing something. For myself, I mostly eat it just like this. I don't really get myself caught up with all the other mixtures anymore, that is. Probably because I have a hard time finding them when I'm in the States. But for the most part, if I'm in a place where they're readily available and I feel like they are more on the organic side, then you bet that it is something that I'm going to be pairing them with. Okay, so here we are, nice and peeled. And these will take probably about 10 to 15 minutes at the most to be cooked. All right, doesn't take long. I have water there on the stove that's already being boiled. One thing you want to pay attention to if you get these and you're doing this for the first time, because you may not understand how it's going to evolve in the pot, as in the integrity, is it really fertilized or not, is it stainy or not, then what you may want to do is add a little bit of oil in your pot, like just a capful, okay? And that will take care of any darkness that the stains will make for your water when you put it inside the pot, okay? And here we go, like this, 1, 2, 3. There's another way that the bananas are actually peeled. I don't do it. I could show you how it's being done. If you can't master it this way, that would be you just doing this. You make a little cut like here, and you do it with your fingers, okay? This is the way like my grandma would do it. I don't like to do that. I want my fingers to stay, you know, nice and contained. So there it is, okay? So you can try that, and with that way, you still have to turn around and be using your knife to kind of clean up whatever residues are left behind. Okay, so like I said, guys, these bananas, they are very healthy. This is a form of a complex carbohydrate, okay? So this is going to be excellent for those people with like blood sugar problems. This will take a long time to break down, and it will not turn to any forms of sugar that you would be worried about. So it would be a nice way to keep you nice and sustained. As long as you're not making this and then you're gonna go and start adding wheat to the dish or some type of rice that you know is going to cause you to spike, and then you blame it on the bananas. Okay, so that's just a word to the wise right there. All right, there I am. I'm almost there. Okay. And back in the days, another thing is the bananas itself, these are excellent. They're very, very healthy. Even the tree itself, we use it for many different things. So for instance, the leaves we use as mulch. Another thing would have been that men or women who have issues with like infertility, we use like the heart, we call it the inner piece of the bananas. And that is used for that, and you bet that it works. Okay, you just boil it, you drink it for a certain amount of days, you are fine. Babies being born, they are coming. Okay, it is excellent when there's a cut. So like back in the days, we couldn't afford going to a hospital. That just wasn't the thing to do. You know, that was a bill that no one could afford. So what we did was we made sure that we understood all of the herbs, and here we are. I'm just going to put them in the pot while I get the video finished. And for your reference, I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil in there. You will also add a little bit of salt as well. And I will only ever endorse 100% sea salt on this channel. And you just do this based on your liking. I just gauge it. Doesn't really matter. As long as you don't make it too salt, it's always better to go fresh than have too much, okay? If you do it and then you wind up with too much, and all you have to do in the end is add water anyway, but you don't want to do that, okay? So you want to go with the least. Least is always better. So as I was saying before, so back in the days, what we did back in the days was we would just make sure that we knew like all of the herbs around the yard. So for the banana, if someone had a cut or something like that, then what we would do is we would just go ahead and we would use like the leaves or like the heart from the banana. We would kind of just put it on like a cut or so, and you bet guys, that thing would be healing so very well. In the end, even if it was a 3rd-degree burn, you would never know by looking at the person that that was what happened, right? And normally I use soap, but my soap is on the other side, so I'm not going to get involved in that right now. I'm just using it this way, and there you go. My hands are still clean. They're not stained, right? So yeah, so we use it a lot for healing purposes as well. Cuts, sores, infertility, right? Different things. We just made ourselves very averse, and that worked for us, right? So some other ways that you can use this, and I wanted to turn my stove back up because I forgot that I had turned it down, right? The process was delayed a bit. So some other things you could be using this for is you could be using in the right form, ripened form, obviously, to make your smoothies, right? You could be making in flour form, which sometimes I actually buy the green banana flour, okay? I use this for like pancakes, which are obviously gluten-free. I use it as a thickener in my soups or my stews. I may use it to bake if I want. I will use it to make like a banana bread. I will use it to make like a ripe banana fritter. That is just where I mix the green banana flour with the ripe banana that I crush, add a little bit of salt, and then fry it. I may use it as like a mofongo base, okay? I may use it as a mango base. If you don't know what that is, you can go and Google it. I will just use it as a stew. I will just use it this way where I just boil it and then I'll cook it, and I will just eat it with some other form of veggies that I stew. Back in the days when I was doing lots of different types of varieties of foods, then I would have been making it with some form of, I don't know, chicken or some form of fish or something like that, right? So I'm pretty sure people still do it that way as well. And my favorite of this is I use the green banana to make porridge, okay? But you cannot use this one when it's already in the flour form to make the porridge. You have to use it the way I just peeled it, and you will add it to your blender with some water, okay? You'll just blend it up for about 1 minute. Don't need to be a lot. You put it on the stove, you boil it with the water, you add some salt, all right? When you are done, you use your favorite plant-based milk, or if you want to use dairy, that's up to you. You add a little bit of brown sugar, or you add some agave in there, and good, you got yourself some cereal, okay? And there are many different ways that you could mix up the banana to actually make the porridge or the cereal, whatever you call it, the hot cereal. You could add corn to it. That would be like a banana cornmeal porridge. You could add plantain to it, green plantains, to mix it up. You could add oatmeal to it. You could add peanuts to it. You could add cashews to it. There's many different ways that this can be done. Okay, guys? So you just have to make yourself be more susceptible to be diverse in these types of food. These are the foods that everyone indigenously grew up eating, and nobody was dying back then. We didn't hear about cancers. We didn't hear about all the issues that we hear about today. We're eating so modern, right? And we're doing everything that's modern, and also we have the modern illnesses that go along with all the modernness of life, okay? So I hope that this video was helpful to you, all right? Hit the thumbs up, let me know if you've tried this before, all right? Like, subscribe, share, all right? I'll see you on the next one. And I also will insert a picture showing you my final product of what my bananas look like after they're finished cooking. I'm sure they're probably almost there. All right, see you soon. Hey guys, here's my finished product. It's just the bananas, and I just made it with some broccolis and different colored peppers. All right, so you can do this however you like.